I remember being told by the older generation that if you worked hard, you done a good job, and you worked long enough, you could achieve anything, and that is the American dream. But slowly, it felt like it was dying, that the American dream was no longer possible. But then came the lottery, the Powerball. And then I thought, be careful what you wish for, because you may get exactly what you asked for. Today I have come to the great state of West Virginia. I have come to the Quenesberry Cemetery in Jumping Branch in Summers County, West Virginia. I have come to pay my respects to none other than Andrew Jackson Jack Whittaker Jr. A few of you may have heard of him and his story. I'd like to apologize for it being so late in the video. I was on my way back from out of town, and I had no idea how far on back roads where this cemetery was located. And it was very cold and blistery this night. But I knew I might not have another chance to pay my respects to Mr. Jack Whittaker. Andrew Jackson Whittaker Jr., known as Jack Whittaker, was born October the 9th, 1947, and passed on June the 27th, 2020. He was an American businessman in the construction industry. He was noted for winning the largest Powerball jackpot in history in 2002 on Christmas Day. He was the sole winner of a jackpot of $314.9 million. He chose the lump sum of $113,386,407 after taxes, of course. Now, just like any other lottery winner who comes into a lot of money quickly, a lot of bad soon would plague Jack's life. Now, before a lot of people judge him, I would like to let it be known, yes, a lot of scandals did happen and a lot of bad things happened, but so did a lot of good things. You know, the candle was burning at both ends. So I'm not here to judge Jack. I'm just here to pay my respects and to let a little bit of his stories and his memories to be known and to be kept alive. That is why I visit graveyards, to let people know the stories and history, and to never let anyone truly die. The first thing I'm going to do is tell you some of the positive things that Jack did with his money. The first thing that I would just like to note is that Jack did not win the lottery until he was 55 years old, and he was already wealthy by working a construction job. He had a net worth of $17 million on the day that he won the lottery. The very first thing he did was he donated 10% of his earnings to the church in which he was a member of. This should have been around $11.5 million. One of the first things he also did was at the gas station from which he bought the winning ticket, he bought the deli manager a brand new $123,000 house, a new Jeep Grand Cherokee, and wrote her a check for $44,000. Next, he would set up the Jack Whittaker Foundation by starting that out with $14 million. His goal was to help people in need. You would write to him and plead your case and your story, and he would do his best to help you. He paid many millions of dollars to build churches, to pay college tuitions for people, to buy people food and clothing, and pay their utility bills and Christmas presents. He spent many, many millions of dollars in doing this. Sadly, at the same time, while he was helping the community, the other voice, I guess you could use the analogy, if there's an angel on one shoulder, then there has to be that devil on the other shoulder. And that was telling him to go gambling and go to strip clubs and enjoy the nightlife. And a lot of his money went into this too. Countless millions of dollars. His cars would get broken into when he was at these clubs. He even got drugged by people at these places, and they would steal his money. Also, he would give money to the apple of his life, which was his granddaughter, whom he loved very much. And she got hooked on drugs, and she ultimately passed away at an early age. And she is here at this burial site, resting right under her grandfather to this very day. Then, just a couple of years later, he lost his older daughter, which is his granddaughter's mother, at the age of 42 to cancer. Her name is Ginger, and she is laid to rest in the bottom left-hand corner of this vault. Jack would go on to be arrested for DUIs multiple times, and multiple women would sue him claiming assault. And then in 2011, his wife Jewel Whittaker would file for divorce. In 2016, Jack had moved to Bland County, Virginia, and as his luck would have it, his new house would burn to the ground, and he had no insurance. Over the years, Jack had done multiple interviews with different news organizations, and he did not want his legacy to be the lunatic guy who won the lottery and went crazy, and that was all about scandals. He wanted to also be remembered as a guy who did good things and helped the world be a better place. That's what he wanted to be remembered as. In the last years of Jack's life, he decided to move back to the country roads, and they would take him home. He moved back to Scott Depot in West Virginia. In the end, he regretted winning the lottery. And on June the 27th, 2020, Jack Whittaker passed away due to natural causes.